believe that a lot of the women that God will be sending are women that, first of all, I believe that some of those that he sends will be married. I believe that that household, the marriage, that there's a marriage, a ministry between the husband and wife. I believe that there's something that God wants to cause them through as husband and wives, as purpose, especially those that have seen attacks in their wombs. I think and I believe that God is going to heal women supernaturally in this season. He's
Yes.
going to accelerate it. I know that for a fact because 40-day fasts are usually tied to promises and acceleration. I'm believing God to accelerate whatever promises that He's spoken in your life, whatever promises He's spoken over your marriage. I'm believing that He's going to accelerate them. I'm believing that He's going to unlock some supernatural revelation and knowledge. Um, And I also believe the reason why the attacks have been how they have been is because the enemy has set out to wound the faith of God's people. He wants you to have wounded faith. But one of the things that God really laid out to me is he said, let me tell you something. Hannah, Hannah had wounded faith. She would go and be attacked by Penina, day in and day out, right? She would be attacked by her day in and
Mm,
day out, but she still sought me. She still fought to find me. He said to me, and I wrote it down, I want to make sure I get it right. He said, wounded faith is the best faith. He
mm,
said, because when a person is wounded and they find themselves where all they got, they back is up against the wall. And a
yeah.
lot of these women that are going to come here, they're in a position to where their faith has been wounded. Our back is against the wall. God was like, He showed me this in a vision. It's like, I ain't got nowhere else but to trust God. And so He was like, when somebody's faith is wounded and their back is against the wall, that's the best kind of faith because they got a little bit of faith. He said, and small faith, little faith, mustard seed faith is faith that's required to move mountains. And so when you got somebody that got wounded faith, they have the ability to speak to mountains because all they have is a little bit. He said, and all I require is a little bit for them to be able to move this mountain, for them to be able to get over this next hurdle. And when we move the mountain of infertility, of fear, of abandonment, of denial, of rejection, of resentment. It's so much stuff that's going to come out through this Bible study. But when we start to move those mountains, you're going to see your faith expand. You're going to see your faith grow. You're going to see how God moves. And then when we get the mountains out the way, then you're going to see manifestation. Jesus, I feel like preaching now. My God. Woo!
Yeah. I
Girl.
like it. It's very, very powerful. Very powerful. Yeah.
I'm gonna let you go because it's almost 7:30. But Hannah, I want you to go ahead and read that story. Read
Okay.
Samuel First Samuel 1,
Mm-hmm.
and I have some questions that I sent in that Bible study. I'm probably gonna send a better version because the sea urchin in me is like, baby, you got all these typos. I'm probably gonna send a better version, but definitely read and study First Samuel chapter 1. And some of the questions that I want you to ask yourself is, like, how do I relate to her? What were some of her strengths? What were some of her weaknesses? In this state that I'm in, what are some of my strengths? What are some of my weaknesses? So do kind of like a comparison with you and Hannah this week.
Okay.
And then, like I said, pray that prayer of mercy. Lord, show me where your mercy is. Show me how you're going to be loyal to me and the covenant that you made with me and my husband, with our bloodline in this, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then, just make sure sometime this week you spend time worshiping with God. I always do a song of the week. So our song of the week is Wait on You.
Okay.
Go ahead and look it up on YouTube. It's Wait on You. Let me pull it up so you can see it. But it's by Elevation Worship. So
Elevation.
all of that is in that little in this little packet. So all those questions that I said, they're in
Okay.
the packet. Yeah. How do y'all relate? And then the other question. The only one that's not in there is the mercy. That's something that the Lord just kind of dropped on me while we were in the study. So,
Okay.
yeah, look that up. And then next week we're going to talk about the extraordinary work that God may want to do through you and your seed, your Samuel, right? Because I believe that all the children that we born that the enemy tried to snuff out, they're prophets, they're Samuels. How do we think God wants to use us, and can He use us in this season? So we're going to talk about that next week. Um, any questions or comments or anything like that?
No questions. Just this is awesome what God has prepared you to give this to women, and many women will be restored. And yeah, even with that little bit of faith, like you said, that's all they need, you know. And I'm excited.
Yay!